Hello and welcome to episode 9 of my Empyrion Galactic Survival tutorial Let's Play series. This episode will be on building a hover vehicle, but more than that, I will try to explain the parts involved and try to clearly show their effect on your travels, i.e. driving your hover vehicle around. And I shall try to cover problems that you will encounter, and I shall cover the keys necessary to know in order to fly around successfully. I apologise that I scrapped my Ning's adventures. I had to delete a load of episodes. I mean, it was probably about 2 days worth of recording and there was a ton of episodes, but I had to do it. For two reasons. Number one, the first 4 episodes were poorly sound recorded. Thank you very much to those of you, Llewellyn, and also, sorry, off the top of my head I can't think of your name, but a few people did mention the sound quality, and I'm very sorry about that. I have listened to you and I have addressed it. I deleted the episodes, so you can't say that I don't listen to you. I certainly do. So that was the first reason, poorly recorded. And the second reason is the way of my channel. The whole reason I started my YouTube channel right in the beginning was I had this idea. I wanted to show Worm, as you know, and I wanted it to be, though, for new players. Always that's my emphasis, on teaching people how to start playing a game. I'm not claiming to be an expert at any game, but what I am trying to do is take a little of the frustration out of that particular game. In this case it's Empyrion, and I want to take a little frustration out of the game for new players on how to build a hover vehicle, the keys necessary to know to fly the hover vehicle, and also hopefully some problems that I can show you and how to get out of them. So I hope this will be a good episode for the new players out there that are just getting into Empyrion. And I know there must be some. Also, it's for me, for in 6 months' time when I've forgotten completely all what to do. I can just watch this again and I'll know, hopefully. Anyway, right, without further ado, so that's the 2 reasons I deleted all them episodes and why I stopped my Ning's adventures. I want to show how you progress to the planets and asteroids. And that means starting with building things like the hover vehicle, the mining vehicle, small craft, and maybe finally the capital craft. So I will continue on Aqua and eventually reach all the other planets, but only after showing how to properly prepare and cover all what's important before galactic travel. Of course the series could stop abruptly. Well, if I only get a couple of views for each episode, it will go the way of the other episodes. So it's down to you, really. You control my channel, not me, you. If you like what I'm doing with Empyrion, then you'll not only watch, maybe you'll even like the video. If you like it, that tells me, wow, okay, let's make some more. Right, so starting with the hover vehicle then, which is something I really need to do. The very first thing that you have to do with making a hover vehicle is to get a hover vessel starter. So you make one of them in your large constructor. Once you've made one, you put it on your toolbar on the left and it shows you this blue box. Now when you place it, it always gets placed facing away from you, as denoted by these 3 lovely arrows. So if I were to place this starter block for the hover, it's going to be placed just like that. So when it's blue, that means you can place it. So if I now left clicked, it would place it down, bang, like that. So when you look at this, you will see this in the middle here, this like a V. That's pointing the direction that it's going to face. So when we go to put the cockpit on, the cockpit will be facing away from us. It will be facing towards that light, as you're going to see. So that's the first step. The first piece is placing your hover vessel starter. Next, okay, number 2. After you've placed your hover vessel starter, you can then place a hover engine, like so. Now, I know that some of you are saying, oh, I wouldn't place it there. I wouldn't. This episode, understand please what this episode is about. I'm not trying to show you how to design the perfect ship. What I'm trying to do here is for those people who want to be able to build a hover vehicle so it flies straight, so it don't sink down into the ground, so they can enjoy their experience with the hover vehicle. Okay, so bear with me. You can put the parts wherever you want. The only important thing here is that you add these components in order for it to work. So I've placed the core there and then the engine there. That's number 2. Okay, let's move to number 3. After you've placed all these parts, need to be made in your large constructor. Okay, number 3. So I placed the core there, I placed the engine there. Next, I place a generator. But GameStar, I hear you say, how did you place the generator like that? Because if I go over the generator, it's like this. How did you place it like that? And why have you placed it like that? Well, some parts to your hover vehicle you need to access, which we're going to get to in a moment. But some parts of your hover vehicle you do not need to access, like the engine. You don't need to press the F key over that to go inside it, and you don't need to press the F key on the generator to go inside it. To give you an example would be, if I can quickly hop over here, the fuel tanks. With the fuel tank you have to press the F key over it to put in your fuel packs, which will then give fuel to your vehicle. So let's go back. Okay, so on the subject then of how did I manage to place my generator flat like that? Well, if you press the whilst positioning, if you press the delete key once, it changes that bar. Do you see it was green when I started and now it's red? So let's get it back to where it was, to there. If you press that's how it default starts. If you press the delete key once, it puts it like that. Then if you press the end key, it puts it like so. And that's how, oh, let's get it there. That's how I got it in that direction. So again, if I put the green bar back to default like that and press the bar, you see by pressing delete and the end key, you can have it go in all different angles and directions. And it's the same for the fuel tank, and it's the same for the other parts. You use the delete key to change the orientation with that bar that appears, and then the end key to change the way it's going to be placed. Okay, so that's how I got the generator flat like that. Okay, moving on. Now I know some of you won't have the patience for this, but for those of you that want to learn about the hover vehicle and its components, this will pay you back tenfold. Okay, so there we go. There's step number 3. The core, engine and a generator. Let's move to step 4. Step 4 is the core, engine, generator and now a fuel tank. Now, depending on the size of your hover vehicle, you'll always want to put your fuel tank somewhere where you can access it. Failing that, say you put your fuel tank somewhere you can't see it. Well, if you, when you access your ship, you can access any component of your craft, your hover vehicle, and I'll show you that. So don't worry for now. Just to say, for those of you components that have an F key, you can either press the F key to access their inventory, meaning that you might want to stick it on the side or somewhere where it's visible inside the craft if you have walls all around it, or you can access it via pressing the P key once you're actually in the vehicle. But we'll get to that. So that's number 5. Number 4. That's the first 4 basic components: core, engine, generator and fuel tank. Next we have number 5, which is core, engine, generator, fuel tank, and now the RCS. Right, okay, what's the difference between the hover engine and the RCS? The hover engine is what makes you hover. The RCS is what helps you turn. So when you're flying your hover vehicle, when you're turning, that's what enables you to turn. And I'm going to be flying a vehicle and demonstrating the engine and the RCS. So don't worry. We're just building the hover vehicle for now. So that's 5. Moving on, number 6. So we've placed our core, our engine, our generator, fuel tank, RCS, now the cockpit. This cockpit that I'm using, just to show you, is the small cockpit. It's cockpit what one is the open cockpit. There's loads of cockpits. If I just bring this up to show you some of the cockpits. So there's the cockpit number 1 that you start with. That's big. So is cockpit number 3. So is cockpit number 9. The smallest one I've managed to find is this open cockpit. And as you can see, that's only taking up 3 blocks. So I put that above the core, okay, which is just there. Okay, so that's the addition to number 6, is we've added a cockpit, and I've added the open one. Okay, moving on, number 7. So now I've got a core, an engine, generator, fuel tank, RCS, cockpit, and now I've put 2 thrusters. M stands for main thrusters, so I've put 2 of the main thrusters on the back. You'll all decide perhaps on a different amount. I'm just going to demonstrate with 2 main thrusters. Okay, so that's number 7. Number 8. All of what I've just said previously, but now additionally we've got the small thrusters denoted by the S after thruster. So I've placed 1 on that side, 1 on the front, and 1 on this side. Remember, if you do the delete key and home and end, you can rotate them around so they will point like so. You want them so you see the thruster like that, because obviously that's the direction it's going to thrust in. So I placed 3 more thrusters all around. Okay, so that's the addition for number 8. Number 9. I've got all of what I've previously mentioned, but now additionally what I've done is I've put 4 engines. Instead of the 1 in there that I've been building so far, I've now placed 4 engines. So let's show you why I've done that. So here we are on this previous one. We've got everything we need now in this hover vehicle for it to have flight. But I use that word very loosely, and let's take a look. So if we go over, if I put the cursor over the cockpit, you'll see it says press F. So if I press F, I'm now in the vehicle. If when in the vehicle I press P, that brings up, P for Papa, that brings up all the components to my ship. So if I wanted to look at something, I would select it, and then if I wanted to access it, click on that, and I've now gained access to my fuel tanks. So It's only important to place the fuel tanks on the outside if you don't want to go to the trouble of entering your vehicle and pressing the P key. Say you're in a rush and you've got an alien or a creature shooting at you and you're going to die and you've run out of fuel. So you'd put it on the somewhere you'd see it quickly so you can throw fuel in, jump in and fly off quick. Whereas you could just jump in and access it this way, but if it's a rocket turret, it's probably obliterated your hover vehicle by now. You know, it's just yin and yang, you make your choice. I'm just demonstrating both ways. So that's how you can access. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's shift click and back in. Okay, so that's how you can access. If you press the P key, you can do the same for all the components on your ship, just like the base I showed you in a previous episode. Okay, but what I want to demonstrate now is flying this vehicle. Well, this view, I'm sure you will agree, is no good to man or beast because you can't see my vehicle. So if we press the V key, V for Victor, now that gives us an external view. If we press the V key again, that puts us back to first person view. So pressing V switches us first person to third person. Now let's take this a little step further with the camera. If we press the Alt key once and press it again so you hear that click, what you can now do when you move the mouse around, it goes in freeform. And if you use the mouse wheel, you can scroll in and scroll out. Now that is important for many reasons. It's important for if you're mining with your hover vehicle, which I might do an episode on an episode just on making a mining vehicle and mining, which might be interesting. We'll see. But yes, so you can scroll in and out. If you don't press the Alt key, you see it switches back to the external view. And if you use your mouse wheel without pressing the Alt key, it cycles between the hotbar on the left. But if you press the Alt key, so you hear that click, you can then freeform scroll around. Now let's show you with the basic components slapped onto this hover vehicle, because it is slapped together. It's quite an ugly thing, is my hover vehicle, but let's see how unfunctional it is. Okay, so if we press the Y key, Y for Yankee. Okay, if we press Y, our vehicle has now come to life because we've switched it on, just like with the base. If you press Y when you're in your base, you turn your base on. So okay, now this is looking good, isn't it? We're flying our vehicle, but do you notice how it's slowly going at a tilted angle, so it looks like Gamester's been having a few drinks? Well, that's nothing. Let's show you its maneuverability. So let's do the S key to reverse. And let's turn this way. Oh, no, we can't turn that way because I've got the Alt key pressed. So to turn that way, I'd have to take my finger off the Alt key, press S to reverse because I just crashed into my other one, and go this direction. Now, no doubt, this is how most of you have built your hover vehicles, where they just go at a weird angle and you have to keep pressing the O key to level it off. O for Oscar. So I press the O key, and that now, whilst keeping it pressed, will keep me straight. So if I now press the W key, fly forwards, and press the space bar to get a bit of height, I can have fun like that. You can see it's not very good, and it's a lot of keys pressing to keep my craft straight. Okay, Yeah, it goes straight for a little bit, but then if we fly over here, I've not set the timer, I don't know how long this episode will be. I just want to make sure I cover all I want to cover, and I don't care how long it is. You can stop the video anytime you want. So anyway, this is the hover vehicle most of you would have built. Totally unpredictable, will start falling over at a slant. It looks like you've drunk too many pints down the pub, and it's a right old mess. If you press the O key, you can straighten up, sure enough, and the left shift key is rumoured to help as well. But do we really want to have to keep pressing the O key to fly our vehicle? No, we do not. So let's see if we can do a bit better. That, remember, is all the basic components that you need to build this vehicle. So what I want to do now is take it a step further and show you the benefits of the engine and the RCS, which are two very important components. Okay, press the Y key, switch it off, F key, unboard. Okay, so V key takes us back to first person. So whilst it enables us to fly around, it's like a drunken sot who's just had one too many down the pub, and not only does it look like he slapped it together, it flies like he slapped it together. So hence the Mark II. With this one, I've applied now 4 engines to it. One like so. I'm doing this like this so you can clearly see how I built it, because you can build this shell that I've done and then you can make the rest of it however you wish, as in make it a fully fledged craft with walls, a top, ceiling and everything else. But as you can see, 4 engines, 2 at the front, 2 at the back. Let's show you how this beauty flies. So F key jump in, Y key turn it on, V key to go to external view. Now what I want you to notice here is, look how beautiful this is. Alright, we need to do the space bar, get a bit of height, no problemo. Look at this. This is how you craft. I'm not pressing the O key. I do not want to have to keep pressing keys while I'm flying around. I want to just fly, and I want it to be fun. If I'm having to keep pressing the O key, that is not fun, because my fingers are getting in a tangle on the keyboard and it's a nuisance for me. You might be different, you might love pressing the O key, and I'm not saying I won't have to press the O key occasionally, but look at this, check this out, we're flying around the world beautifully. Our vehicle's not going off at a tangent, we hit a rock. Now I'd have to press the O key. So we press the O key. Okay, but there's a big difference between how many times I'm having to keep pressing the O key. Our vehicle, as long as it senses the ground, will normally upright and steady itself. Wunderbar, wunderbar I should say. There we go, we have ourselves the beginning. This is not a complete hover vehicle, okay? What I'm trying to get across to you in this episode is the functionality of the components. You will build onto this and you will make a beautiful craft, no doubt about that, I'm quite sure. But the proof is in the pudding. Can I land this craft exactly in the space I have allotted for it? Of course we can, because between our engines and the camera, we can position it perfectly. Alright, maybe not perfect, but then that's where the RCS is going to come in a moment. But there we go. No, I think that's good enough. Yeah. So let's do the C key, takes us down. If you didn't know, it's C for Charlie. And then if I turn it off now and press the F key to come out, V key to go back into first person. Okay, let's show you the creme de la creme. Okay, that's with 4 additional engines. Let's take it a step further, shall we? Here we go. Check this beast out. Again, I've not made walls on it, I've not made it look umber beautiful, but what I have done is got all of what I've put on previously, but now I've got 5 RCS. The reason I jumped from 1 to 5 is because I want to show you the effect of it. I've got the same 2 main thrusters on the back, but now additionally I've put 2 thrusters small on this side. I've got 3 thrusters on the front small and 2 thrusters on this side. I've put an additional fuel tank, so I've got 2 fuel tanks. Longer distances I can travel without worrying about running out of fuel, so they're all fully loaded up. Okay, let's take this beast for a ride. So F key to jump in, Y key to turn on, V key to go to external view, and check this. Look at this, look. That other one I didn't properly show. Turning it was slow. So alright, let's jump out, quickly go into that one and demonstrate. Okay, alright, so that is the RCS. I think once you put more weight onto it, perhaps, that's just 1 RCS, and that does turn very well. I think they must have made some changes in the game mechanics, because I remember having 1 RCS and it no way turning that quickly. So anyway, it looks like the RCS thingy's sorted out. You only need 1 by the looks of it. Unless when you build a bigger hover vehicle, it starts to affect it with weight. I don't know, I'm not sure about that. I'm just going to park this back down, turn it off, jump back in the other one and show you it, because I do love the other one. Okay, so this one here has got all of the above. I just put 5 RCSs into it because, I don't know, I like 5. 5's a good number. I've also put on this one, you may have noticed, here it is, a hover booster. If your vehicle gets jammed in a rut, in a ditch, you can press the space bar and it will jump. Do you see how down here you've got booster? That's what this is. Now, when you first place the hover booster on your vehicle, the bar starts empty and it slowly charges up. So, if you get stuck in a rut, stuck in a hole, you can press the space bar. Providing this is full with the white bar, you can then jump out. Let's see if I can get stuck. I doubt I can with this craft. This, to me, now is my perfect vehicle. I just need to add things like lights, and I haven't decided whether I want to make it a military vehicle, as in slapping on loads of guns and stuff. But you can see that it's a pleasure, a joy to drive this. It really is. And yeah, I will have to occasionally do the O key. I'm not claiming to be Mr. Perfect, but you can see, most enjoyable to fly around. Let's just quickly jump out, go back to first, and shed a little light on the subject. I think I've got a light, haven't I? Yeah, there we go. No, that's a thruster. Let's put that back to there. So you can get lights that you can put all around your vehicle, but the one I wanted to show you first is the front mounted light. Let's see if I can find it. Let's go to hover vehicle, and I really don't want to waste much time looking for this. I'm sure it's here somewhere. This is the trouble with having so many things. Oh, there we go, spotlight cube. Right, okay, let's show you. So we'll place the spotlight cube down there. And what we can also do, put some lights around it, because it's got dark on me. bear in mind that if you place lots of lights, you're going to use lots of energy, so make sure you get enough fuel tanks placed on your vehicle. But you know, if you slap lights all around, look at that effect on the, I don't know if you prefer blue, but there's white. That's how you can turn all your beams white. I personally like that, so let's do that. So much for the spot beam cube, eh? Yeah, check that out. I've thrown light where there was only darkness. Okay, well, I'll leave the rear thrusters. Now, there's plenty of light, I'm sure you'll agree. Remember, if you press the P key over any single one of them, you can bring up your control panel for your craft, select all your lights, and we can have pink ones if we wished, but I'm not going to go there. What about golden? You can have hours and hours and hours and hours of fun just doing your hover vehicle or your base, adjusting every component of it. Just Empyrion just gives you so much access, and I'm probably just went through doing all the lights on my base. Yeah, I have. I've been doing the lights on my base. Remember, if so that's all yellow. Never mind. If you want to do your hover vehicle, you need to jump into it. Like I did mention previously, I need to listen to myself a bit more often, I think. So, to do the hover vehicle lights, we need to do that. How many frickin' lights did I put on it? Okay. And there we go. I'm a yellow fellow. And remember, doing the spacebar to get over them tough bits of terrain raises you up right off the ground. Very cool. Okay, I think I've covered the hover vehicle enough. There's probably 100 things I could have said as well, but like I say, I just wanted to take someone who's new to Empyrion and allow them to make a beautiful hover vehicle. Yes, I'm not talking about design. That, of course, you all are good at design. I am not. It's about knowing your capabilities. I'm not a good designer. Rainstorm's the designer out of this team. I'm just for functionality, and I'm hoping now I've shed a little light on that subject, even if it is yellow. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you, and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching, and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.